Yeah, this is the guy. This is the one who's giving me problems. Hey, come here. We want to talk to you. Welcome to Action Unwind. As always, I am Drew. This is Dean, and today we are immersing ourselves in everything Jurassic Park specifically. Jurassic World nowadays, but it'll always be my sweet spot of Jurassic Park, man. These movies came out in the 90s. For some of you, could have been like a lifetime ago. For some of you, you weren't maybe around. Maybe these are now vintage.
You could have been 25 when it came out.
You could have been 25 when it came out. It's one of those things, man. Like, I think about movies that I've been excited about over the years, and for me, this is my number one.
For me, the movies, 93 was the first one that came out. I remember my mom took me, and we were late, so we sat front row, and I remember being so excited watching it. And when the T-Rex roared for the first time, I looked over at her with excitement, and she was passed out. Just catching flies, mouth wide open, out cold. But you're right. I mean, these movies are timeless. Like what I think, or what we both agree, that the ones that are out now are awesome. They're not as good as the original, and nothing ever is. But the one thing I'll mention about the original that I like is that the CGI on the raptors still holds up,
and the T-Rex too. Like I would just see even the dinosaurs in general, and not to like.
Oh no, I'll do it.
Devalue the new ones. But like,
well, those aren't bad.
There's
either.
something missing.
I'm just saying there's other movies out there. There's other CGI movies that have happened that are just as old.
True.
And the CGI is terrible.
Yeah.
But these still hold up. Like my kids now, who are 7 and 5, love watching the original because it's so realistic.
And this to kind of hop on board with that, or to piggyback off that point, I had a discussion with someone once about this actually, and they got rather tilted about it, but I would argue that the T-Rex in Jurassic Park and the Lost World, the T-Rex, the lighting, the texture, the skin, looks better than any of the Lost World appearances of Rexy. Because it is the same T-Rex that shows up, Rexy, but I feel like she looks more real in the older movies than she does in the new ones. And I don't know what that is. If you know, throw it in the comments. Maybe it's a lighting thing. Maybe it's overdoing it. I don't know. But I think there was a proper use of animatronics back in the day. I've watched the special features of Jurassic Park. I remember when they came out on DVD. Big deal. Big deal. And man, those DVDs, endless amounts of runtime in my DVD player.
For sure.
But I mean, hey.
And the Lost World, kind of the ugly duckling of the.
I would say Jurassic Park 3.
Oh yeah, I like that one better.
Do you?
Yeah, way better.
Okay.
I like Ian Malcolm. Like I'm a big fan of Goldblum. I think, like, his story is great, but I didn't enjoy it as much.
They did originally have a different ending for the second one.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Fact check me for sure. I may be off a little bit, but the famous "Don't go into the long grass." That whole scene that was supposed to eventually lead to like them finding like these backpacks and there was a figure that came out. There was a Kenner. Ian Malcolm figure that came out with a wing glider. And that was supposed to be the scene where they jump off this cliff and they're wing gliding, and then pterosaurs and pterodactyls and stuff come and attack them. And that was supposed to be the big... And then Joe Johnston for Jurassic Park 3, when he that was his goal, is he found out they were supposed to be in Jurassic Park 2, and he was like, they weren't. He's like, I'm putting them in the movie. And I'll be honest, Jurassic Park 3, I loved the design. I don't know if they're pterosaurs or what form of flying dinosaur they are. But I thought they did a great job. I thought like the timpani drums when they start coming in through the bird cage, I thought that was cool.
Bird cage was cool.
But yeah, no, I mean, realistically, there's always gonna, in a run of that many movies, because what are we at now, 6?
Yeah.
6 movies, and they've talked about a new era.
Yeah.
Clean slate, I think. Like, I don't know if it's going to be in the same universe, 2025? Something like that. I think it's 2025. They're bringing out something new.
Possibly, yeah.
As far as movies go, to do 6 movies, have some absolute bangers in there. Overall, though, like, it's not a bad stretch. Like, there's definitely...
No, they've done the original, the original trilogy. They've done it justice with the new ones, and Pratt has done a great job.
Yeah, I thought he
was
great.
great.
Too.
But let's get to the toys. Obviously, you
The figures, man.
You talked about it first as the Kenner figures, right? Remember the original Kenners? Like every starting point for every one of our lines, whether it was Batman or whatever, all the Kenner figures had the only shoulder and hip.
They were monumental, man. Yeah.
No knee bend. It was so funny because before that the era was Joe's and the articulation with the knee bend and the elbow bends.
The neck swivel. Yeah, you got to give him credit.
All of that was great. And then when you got those figures that looked awesome, but they didn't articulate as well, wasn't a fan. But there's still some cool ones in there. But I feel like none of the figures, the Kenner figures, look like any of the actual.
No, they don't look like any of the characters.
Yeah, it's like the original Playmates line for Turtles.
Dennis Nedry, he's pretty yoked as a character.
Yeah.
As well as, I can appreciate it, but every single Kenner figure, especially for Jurassic Park in that era, came with some sort of water attack spray backpack or spray gun.
And sunglasses.
And everyone was kind of... Everyone was kind of just crushed and yoked. Like everyone was detailed. And but I actually found one the other day. I should have brought it. I had the Ian Malcolm growing up. I had a bunch growing up. Yeah. But the Ian Malcolm came with a little T-Rex. It had the little JP on the leg and stuff like that.
That was
I still
iconic.
have mine.
That was iconic for all those figures.
Yeah, to have the JP on it. Which actually, just realizing now, we've got some of the Hammond collection, some of the Amber collection up amongst, what else? What's the Colossal T-Rex? That's just...
The Colossal T-Rex is just something my son wanted to throw in here.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just...
But they have like the DNA code things on some of the figures now, but now that you say that, I never thought that they haven't really included.
My little guy's I'm going to say it wrong, the Therizinosaurus?
Therizinosaurus.
That's the one,
Yeah.
So he's in a toy box just going off, like just
you move it a little bit and it just starts yelling.
Starts screaming.
So I want to talk about Amber Collection, because again,
so short-lived.
We natter on about it quite a bit on the show about being in Canada and the struggles. The hunt game, the figure quest it's more of a struggle in Canada just because of the supplies we get up here. But man, that Amber Collection came out.
Yeah,
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the scaling was sick. The detail, because of the scale, the detailing was nice. But to your point, short-lived, man. It was a good golden thing, and I
was at Toys R Us and I was grabbing Legends at the time, and I just walked by the shelf and I saw Nedry was out, the Dilophosaurus, and one of the original Raptors from the first movie,
the OG,
and the OG one, and all three of those are there. I'm like, oh, these are really cool, and they're going to fit and scale with the rest of my collection. I'm going to grab them. So I grabbed them. Had it in my collection for like a month and a half, 2 months, and I was like, they're not bringing any more of these out, and I sold them. Yeah. And I sold them for next to nothing. Have you seen the secondary market on those things?
They're vicious.
Like the Dilophosaurus, I've seen like almost $400 Canadian. Like it's nuts how much these things are. So if you can get them, find them, hold on to them, because they're awesome.
The worst thing that I've heard too is, though the wife still doesn't fully understand the figure collection and the hours of posing, getting the right poses.
Yeah. They for sure think we're just in their basement just playing with toys.
She crushed me one day by saying like, oh, that one's that expensive? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of watching. It would be nice to have the 6-inch scale Dilophosaurus. Oh, I walk by that one like all the time, and I was going to get it for you, but I just didn't think to do it. And I was like, oh, you can hear the heart cracking. But no, that's okay. But no, I mean, here's the one figure I needed. I wanted to have it so bad. We've got our Lost World Tiger Raptors here and stuff with Clever Girl and Vanilla Ice Cream Flea Circus, and and then we've got Owen and Blue and his Raptor pack over there. We've got the OG Raptors up here. These ones over here. Now these ones, controversial. These ones were Joe Johnston's Jurassic Park 3 ones.
They're awesome. That scene...
Thought they were phenomenal.
That scene is great.
And you know what? I never understood, and this is going to be for those who are hardcore with us, but in the scene when they're in the plane on the way to the island, Alan falls asleep, and he wakes up, and Billy, he wakes up, and Billy's like, Alan, and he looks over, and it's this raptor talking to him.
Yeah.
And I always looked a little bit too deep into things. I'm like, how the heck does he know what that raptor looks like when he hasn't seen one yet? That was Joe Johnston was actually he was attempting, again, go fact check me, go check it out, but he was attempting to retcon, essentially, the OG looking Raptors. He wanted this to be the Raptor all along and stuff. But so honestly, that one scene I felt wasn't necessary. I felt like it could have been really cool if they just left that scene out. But these Raptors, I thought the design was phenomenal. Like in the movie, I thought they recreated it beautifully with the figures, the colors, like the crimson red, and the feathers on top. Now here's the deal.
On the crimson.
Who was the highlight of these raptors? You got the 2 cool feathered raptors, and then you had the missus, the female raptor, the white one.
Yeah, the white
had
one.
had a slightly different brim on the nose.
Yeah.
They released these 2 for us anyway. They released these 2, and then they went to the Hammond collection. And what did they release for Hammond collection? Alan with the camera bag and the eggs, and the female white one. So I hate that happened. That's a personal kind of gripe for me, but a good thing I saw online, you can buy one of these or buy another raptor. There's a lot of customizers out there. So hopefully one day on the custom couch, we will see one that I get done as the all whiteout female from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, it is too bad. I don't know the backstory of why the amber collection stopped, but these were awesome. I like them all. I mean, you kind of run out of ideas, right? You can only make so many scalable dinosaurs. And then, you know, what key characters, you know, obviously the kids.
Lex and Tim.
Yeah, Lex and Tim.
And then
the dirty lawyer, you know, obviously.
And he was, I think he was an SDCC exclusive on the can.
Henry is a scientist.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. Ray.
Ray? Well, I'm thinking Henry. No, am I wrong?
Oh, Henry.
Oh, Henry. Yeah.
Grab a Snickers.
The guy that when they see the raptor in the first movie. Yeah. Anyway, that fella, and he comes back obviously in later movies as well.
Yeah.
He would have been cool to have as well, but. Hopefully they come back in some way, but we'll see.
Yeah, one thing I think that led to them changing to the Amber collection changing from Amber to the Hammond collection was the size of dinosaurs, like getting them to scale.
Yeah,
like they brought out the colossal T-Rex. That does scale with your 6-inch figures and stuff. However, the Therizinosaurus, your Brachiosaurus and stuff, when they shrink down to the 3.75-inch scale, that gives a lot more versatility to their line for dinosaurs, and I think that's why they did it. That's my speculation completely. If you guys know, throw it in the comments, let us know, or if you got a link to a video of someone breaking it down, go check it out. But I mean, I gotta give credit, man. These 3.75-inch figures, their articulation is insane. Like, you got wrist swivel, you got wrist like pivot and everything like that. The glasses come off. I think I would have been less inclined to get these if that articulation was back in the Kenner days of just arms.
Robot.
But yeah, you get this figure and then you scale it with the new Rexy, which the paint apps on this thing, the articulation on the mouth and everything like that, the tongue, this is G-rated show, okay? They scale great. They look phenomenal.
The color on this thing's really cool.
I've seen some phenomenal photography lately on Instagram with Rexy, and I'm excited to try and take my own shot at it.
Soft rubber in the mouth is really cool. Nice added touch as well.
If you don't have it, it is the Hammond Rexy. It's not Hammond Rexy. That's kind of a terrible way to call it, but it's the Hammond Collection Rexy. The paint apps are phenomenal. Don't sleep on this thing. Dig in, get your copy. Last time I was down in the U.S., I think when it first came out, it was retailing like $80 American.
Yeah.
Now I think she's around. Don't quote me. I think she's around 40 or so, about half the price. Really good price. Get one. You will not regret.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And we've always said that the Action and Wine space is a space where we don't air the grievance, where we don't complain. But I'm going to air the grievance. I'm going to bring the Festivus pole out.
Volcano's got to purge, man.
I'm going to drag the steel pole over. You know, outside of this, like obviously the steel pole.
Oh,
Festivus.
I thought you said I'm going to bring out the steel wool.
I will get the steel wool. Steel wool's after.
On the knuckles?
I just want to bring up and I'm sure this happens in everybody's area. And
market.
For sure. Call them what you want, scalper, this, that, whatever. Nothing bothers me more than, you know who you are out there, that just go and pick up all the new figures, whatever line it is, old like this, because now there's money on the table for these things and there's a big aftermarket, or just anything new. You know, here up in Canada, like I said, where we live, we got 3 Toys R Us in the city, we got like 17 Walmarts.
I'm fortunate to have the Toys R Us
for sure. I can't wait to see those come back to the US for everybody. But I just can't stand when I see guys, and there's some well-known characters in our home city, where they go out as quick as they can. They know people. They're connected to people that work at those different stores.
They sometimes don't even make the shelf.
Yeah, they just get them all and
Right
they,
to the
they buy
back,
them all.
into their arms.
Hey, listen, army building, you guys do what makes you happy. We talked in the first episode, I have, 14 Crimson Guards?
100.
But I make sure I buy them when they're in stock and I support, really good local places out there.
And just to add on to that, you're buying them for your collection.
Yeah.
You're not buying a shelf
Absolutely.
with the intention just to resell them on markup on Kijiji
if
or
that's
whatever
your gig,
the site.
I'm also not going to knock you if you want to go and make a couple extra dollars. Listen, who's going down?
This is one of the Raptors
Also
tapped
frustrated,
out.
also super
That's
upset.
me as a Raptor taking a nap.
So, yeah, I just want to bring light to that. And again, I know that it gets spoken about in all the groups I'm in, all this people, rip on these people all the time. But, man, just buy what you're there to get. And if you're going to mark it up $5 or $10 for your time, for gas, whatever, I don't mind doing that. But I'm not, if you're going out to hunt anyway, if you're going out and you're going to get one to your collection and there's an extra one there and you're going to turn on sell for $25 markup, don't be, can I say douche? Is that G-rated?
I don't know. We can always
say it.
bleep it.
Yeah, let's bleep
Or
it.
we can not.
Mute it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Mute it.
Just don't be that person to go out there and just rip everybody else. This is a community. I've met so many great people.
You should
in
be
this.
supportive.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Be supportive of each other. Like when I go out, if I see an extra one, I have a circle of friends here in the city that I'll message them right away saying, hey, I have this here. There's an extra one. Do you want it? I'll pick it up. And then I just cover the cost, cover what I bought for it, and that's it. I'm not going to charge you an extra. But again, I'm not saying that everyone out there needs to not charge. Charge a little extra if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But don't be the person that turns around, know you got the only extra one in and around the area, and it's $20 to $50 markup. Just don't be that person. Don't be that person.
Like I said, just to reiterate, if you're buying, 5 figures, and it's the last 5 figures, and they're for your collection, I'm not going to knock that.
100%,
I'm not.
100%.
But if you're buying one for your collection and those 4 figures, you're like, I'm going to double the price, and here's my 2 cents. I didn't like that feel at all, but I'm committed to the pose now. Here's my.
Things got warm over here.
Here's what I gotta say. I'm sorry I had to see that. No, my biggest thing is one of my fondest memories is whether it was chores around the house or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Getting, hey, you know what? Things have been good, or you've been, you did good in school, or you busted your butt. We're going to get a figure today.
Yeah.
Or maybe you saved up your money. I still remember going to Sears, which for me still strikes a hole in my heart when I think about that store not being around anymore. Going to Sears on the second level to the weirdly 45-degree angled toy shelves that were only this high. Mm-hmm. And you could see over them all. And I had saved up my $20 or my $12 or whatever, and I had bought a figure or two. And I just think of nowadays, I try to take my nephew out, or I think of kids growing up. They're not going to have that ability because, first of all, the stock's not always there.
Yeah.
The supplies, it's hard to come by. And the only way you can buy them is like legends and stuff and different types of figures. They're expensive enough as is. They don't need that scalper price.
Yeah, it's funny. You don't think about that too often, right? Because all of us adult collectors just look for that score, right? You grab that figure. But no one thinks about, a parent, solo income parent that has a couple of kids and wants to get them those Christmas gifts,
wants
those
to
birthday
give
gifts,
them that happiness, right?
And to tell you a quick story here too, our Toys R Us here in the city, they actually have signs up where you can't return collectible figures, and you can only buy one of each. So for a while, if the newest wave came out, you were only allowed to buy one because they were also noticing that there were certain hacks in the city that were trying to buy up the entire
cuts
shelf.
down the army building too.
Exactly. So anyway, the message is don't be a hack. Just share it for everybody. Think about the kids. Think about the other adult collectors who just want to help each other out. It's a community. We all see that aftermarket. I praise the companies like Valiverse
that's
now, where I see
where
reissues come in. Yes, they're different paints, whatever else, but you're getting a secondary chance. And the second that next one comes out, that secondary market price goes way down, and then that person's stuck with it as they deserve to be stuck with it because they're not into this for what we're into it for.
For sure. And just to even for the toy companies that are out there, I don't need new paint apps on a reissue. I
bring them out again.
I don't just bring it out. Just bring it out the way you did it the first time. You don't have to add additional stuff to it. Just bring it out again. It's really for me anyway. Again, I'm not trying to blanket everyone's opinion. You're gonna feel how you feel, but just bring it out again, and then it's available. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, that's our little little weigh-in on
That's it.
that and
I'm
stuff
done.
for sure. Like I said, we're not trying to change who you are or anything like that, but that's more for the people who are maybe watching this, having a hard time with that. We feel you on it, and we sympathize with that struggle. So like Dean said earlier, we don't try to dip too hard into the negative side of things, but it's a reality, so we're just trying to put a light onto it and use what we have here, what little platform that is, to kind of chat about it and stuff. And like I said, just so you guys, if you're going through those gripes, we feel you on that. We've been through it too, along with many other people. But on this channel, it's not just our channel. We genuinely believe that it is our channel, including yours. So one thing that you can do is our community tab that we've just gotten going. We want that to be as much your tab as it is ours. So with these figures, with these prices, you see a good price, you're looking for a figure. The web nowadays, man, it's so versatile with helping each other out. If you have that figure, post it on our community tab and say like, hey, you know what? I'm looking to move this figure, blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely.
What's working out and stuff like that, you know?
Absolutely. Use it as a place, like trading place. Make sure that you guys can connect with each other, trade, make a sale on it. We're good with it. Obviously, take care of each other. And if you can help each other out, and as if someone's really interested in any of the Amber or the Hammond collection, you have some that you just want to move, throw in the community tab. And well, somebody else is interested can find it. You guys can connect.
Okay, so before we get going, Dean, out of these movies, I need the line. I need the iconic line. What are you going with?
We have a T-Rex.
Say again. Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
I gotta go with.
go
Can I borrow your hand for a sec? I gotta go. Shooter! Shooter! Loading team, step away. With that, we want to know down in the comments, what is your favorite line? The one that we like most, we're going to pin it at the top, so make sure that you let us know. He's had a long show. He's earned it. He's earned it.
I'm out. I'm going to get some Chilean sea bass.
Okay, so from all of us here at Action Unwind, we're going to see you on the next show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking some time to unwind. Go get yourself some Chilean sea bass. We'll see you on the next one.